understand why people love themselves, because you feeling this stuff, you've got to work through it, and and no one taught us how to move through that. Do you know what I mean? Like, talk to it, write it down, release it, ground. Do you know what I mean? Sunlight, counsel. There's like loads of different ways. Water, like mama, like the way you can bless water, like. But yeah, so like working with Paul, doing other things with other people and stuff, I realized like shit. Although the projected image was great, and people were like, you get validated, like, oh Jay, but in myself, I didn't really love myself or feel like, now I don't need none of that. I don't need none of it. I don't want none of it. Actually, save me from being out there. Because within myself, I feel,
100%.
Like, I feel like, so that's the difference now. I'm not here about everything. Certain times I am, to understand the process, but the feelings, like, it's like another, like being in the heart space it's not about getting it right. Do you get what I'm saying? Where the mind is all about right and wrong, big versus small, boom, boom, boom. Here's about
separatism.
Yeah, bro. It's like, whereas here, you don't have to have it figured out here. There's that authenticity, whether it is what they call right or wrong. So it's like, in my heart, shit, I fucked up, man. I've been fucked up on my journey as well, and I've, spilt poison on others. I've received poison from others. But I've also tried my best with what I've had. My heart's always been pure. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. But knowing that and love and being like, raw shit, I've always at my core been a loving individual. But even me have still hurt so many people.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, shit. Yeah. That's a tough pill to swallow. But then you understand, then you're like, oh, but how did I get there? Relationship with the system.
It's like you can't be too hard on yourself because of that.
You can be hard on yourself to move you through it, but at the same time, you got to say, it's more than me as well. I don't know how you experience it.
I think I've said to you before that people always ask me, like, how are you? How do you feel? And I don't really have an answer. Because I don't know if the tools that I've been given is enough for me to express what I feel. I don't actually feel like I'm using the right words to express how I feel.
We'll touch on that.
Language,
we'll
as we've spoken about. Sure. So, I know as I grow, I feel more.
Yeah. Definitely.
I find it very interesting that, like, there's this thing where men, and not even just men, but women or people who are sensitive, kind of get pointed at for being sensitive. Like, being sensitive is a bad thing. The only time that you don't feel is if you're numb or when you're dead, or when you're paralyzed, which isn't a good thing. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, it's a thing, but it's not a good thing. This thing is about feeling. I think that if we felt more, a lot of this shit wasn't happening. It's, as you said, a lot of this shit is thinking. Thinking is the problem. Thinking is what fucked up this whole thing.
And thinking is not necessarily truth.
100%.
So like when we hear about, let's just look at our local community where issues have happened between blocks and stuff. That's been created through thinking, because this man thinks something and it's not even necessarily true. Half the time you're like, but wait, hold on, you lot are actually beefing over something that wasn't even true. So the thought, if we felt and we said, like when I got stabbed, I was saying to my people, like, whatever you do, do not, because I got connected to my feelings. I was like, yo, if I'm seeing how my people are affected, if I do that to someone else, they're not going to get hurt, because I didn't feel the hurt of the stabbing, but I knew it was going to hurt their mother or family, connected family. They don't deserve that. That was the feeling. Do you get what I'm saying? And that, I think, for me is like, we don't get into those spaces of like, shit, like, they're so disconnected from their feelings that they're like, we're ready to go and attack without processing our own. How would this feel for someone else?
I think that thinking helps when you're connected to your
100%.
heart.
And that's
I think
the
that's
wiring there, bro.
Right. I think when that happens, you've got what you need to come to the right place. Maybe right is the wrong word, but we know that if people felt and had empathy for others, then a lot of this shit wouldn't be happening. Like, you wouldn't go like, it's like, how did a group of people think, not feel, or even feel? No, it weren't feeling. How did you think that the right thing to do was to invade other people's countries that ain't done shit to you, and for you to slaughter,
that was thoughts.
rape,
That
and
wasn't
kill?
think.
That was thinking.
Yeah.
So you thought it was the right thing. You think that society is better off in this way. You didn't feel.
Yeah, because if you look at the military, they don't teach them to feel.
Right.
They beat that out of them.
Because you can't kill if you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's deep. But because if they overfeel or overthink, then they might not make that decision. That's how they were saying in Germany, how they killed so many people. I was just giving orders.
In order for things to run how they run, they have to separate you from your heart. They have to, not give you what you need to comprehend and digest things in a way that is progressive.
Yeah.
So it's like, the response is when you get hurt too much, or, when you get hurt too much, it becomes unbearable and you end up saying, fuck them.
Yeah.
Or I don't feel no more. And then it turns into, I don't care.
Yeah.
When really and truly, you care.
Yeah.
You care. If someone put it into context for you properly, you would absolutely care.
Yeah.
Because if you don't care, you might need to be locked up because you're a threat to society. From you stop caring, but come on.
Yeah.
From you stop caring, that's an issue.
Yeah. And I think they've given us what you would call the perfect death tool, which is the language. And just out of like, and this is the thing, like, if you look at, we always talk about observing nature, and nature doesn't need language. The same way we use language, nature doesn't need it the same way, but they use a form of language or interaction, which is sound and observation. So like animals and kids, they seem to be the most free and happy. And then as kids learn language, that's not the right language, this is the good language.
Yeah.
We start to get away from our understanding. So for me, language is attached to the thought stuff because you can manipulate language to bring people to certain destinations. But if you remove language, and like, you will notice that those that are very silent and observant seem to intimidate most people.
Oh, yeah.
Because